Hi Yogi, it's Bri. Welcome to the Power Vinyasa Level 2 practice. In this 30-minute class, we're gonna flow together. It's going to be athletic, but also accessible, and I'll show you how to do crow pose. Let's get started. We'll get started in child's pose. Bringing your legs together just for a little more support in the back body, taking your arms forward and your forehead all the way down to the mat. Relax your arms for now and just let your hips drop back onto your heels. I like to allow the skin on my forehead to just gently crease towards my nose. And I find that pressure on that pressure point helps to relax my jaw and my neck. And then finding that slight restriction of the muscles in the back of your throat, begin to regulate your breathing with Ujjayi. Should sound like the ocean waves crashing on the shore, or if you're a Star Wars fan, Darth Vader. And just try to get your inhalations and exhalations as deep as possible. And we'll take a clearing breath together. Inhale through your nose. Part your lips, sigh it out. Then inhale, rise up into a tabletop position. Coming onto your hands and your knees hips distance and right underneath your hips. Your hands shoulders distance and right underneath the shoulders. I recommend that for most of us practicing, having the index fingers forward is going to ensure that you have enough space for your shoulders, keeping them safe. Grip with the fingertips, firm the forearms in, and just slightly spread the shoulder blades wide. Now let's do a few variations of cat-cow. So first, take a cow position. Inhale, lift the heart. Let the sits bones rise up towards the sky. Pull the hands back towards the back of the mat and look up. Then exhale, do the opposite. Round, spread the shoulder blades wide, pushing down through the index finger knuckles and drawing your tailbone down. This is a position you're going to be in for crow pose later on. Then inhale to a neutral spine. For this round, you're going to bring your legs together, point your toes. We're going to do the same thing. Find your back bend as you inhale, but this time lift your heels up towards your butt, engaging your hamstrings. Then exhale, put your tops of your feet down, round, spread the shoulder blades, and pull your right knee into your chest, maybe even towards your chin. Then put your right knee down, find your back bend as you inhale, pull your heels up again. And then exhale, round. This time, left knee pulls in towards the chin. Push away so the shoulder blades spread. One more round just like that, which is really two. Inhale, lift the heart up, pull the heels towards your butt. Exhale, round, right knee in. Again, knees down, inhale, heels up. Exhale, round, left knee in towards the chin. Great job. Put your knees down as you inhale, tuck your toes under, and exhale, lift up and back, downward facing dog. Make sure your feet are hips distance, and also step back just a little bit, because typically when we come from that tabletop position, it just isn't quite long enough. Look forward at your hands, grip with the fingers, root down through the index finger knuckles, and do that a little bit more so that the forearms begin to hug in as well. But don't let the upper arms hug in. Instead, spread the shoulder blades wide. That'll create space for your neck and engagement in the right muscles, the serratus anterior and the lats, all of those supportive shoulder shelf muscles. Then lift high up onto your toes, put a little bend in your knees, and reach the outer hips up and back as you inhale. Then as you exhale, draw your ribs and your navel in. Straighten your right leg, press the right heel towards the earth. Then inhale back to the balls of the feet, straighten your left leg, bend your right knee. 2 more times. Inhale to the balls of the feet. Straighten your right leg, bend your left knee. Last time, balls of the feet. Straighten your left leg, bend your right knee. Then inhale to your toes. Look forward. Shift the shoulders over the wrists. You might need to step your feet back just slightly. Inhale, shift the shoulders all the way past the wrists until you're on the tips of the toes. Put your knees down for this first vinyasa. Bend the elbows, chaturanga. All the way down to your belly. Untuck your toes. Peel the collarbones open. Push through the hands and inhale, lift up into cobra. If you're feeling pretty tight, you can keep your navel on the ground, really pulling the elbows in and the hands back. If you can elevate just a little bit more, lift the navel up, inhale. And exhale, release all the way back down. Tuck your toes under and inhale, lift up onto your knees like a tabletop position. Exhale, downward facing dog. Great job. Bring your feet together. Look forward as you inhale to your toes. Bend your knees, and as you exhale, step to the front of the mat. Big toes touching, a little space between the heels. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, rising all the way up towards standing. Exhale, hands to your heart. We'll take a variation of Surya Namaskar A that adds in chair pose, because what I want you to do is get really warm for crow pose right after that, and taking the chair helps to mimic that position. So bend your knees, get nice and low, tap the ground with the fingertips, move the weight back into the heels first, and then inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward all the way into Uttanasana. Inhale to a flat back, plant your palms, step back into plank pose. Shift all the way forward to the very tips of the toes. Try it with your knees off the ground, keeping your body in one solid plank. Bend the elbows. Then inhale, either low cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. With each inhalation, find length in both sides of the waist. With each exhalation, draw the navel in. Bring your feet together. Now you can always continue modifying by stepping forward and back. I'm going to introduce to you the jump forward. So look forward between your hands, rise to your toes, bend your knees, and jump forward. You can keep your knees bent the whole time, landing your feet down at the front of the mat. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising all the way up towards standing, gazing up as the palms touch. Exhale, hands to your heart. Bend the knees, tap the ground once again, then inhale, reaching the arms up, Utkatasana chair pose. This time, rise up onto the balls of your feet. You might fall, it might take a few moments to find the strength, but squeeze the inner thighs into one another, draw the outer hips back, maybe higher up on the balls of the feet, inhale. Put the heels down and exhale, fold all the way down, Uttanasana. Inhale to a flat back. Plant your palms flat. Step your feet back just one small step. If it's hard for you to get your palms flat, bend your knees. Then look forward as you inhale to the toes. Jump the feet back, land them back, bend the elbows simultaneously, chaturanga, then to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring the feet together. But take a few moments to really feel those strong, straight arms. Think of your fingertips as brakes. So we're going to jump forward in a moment, but the scary part of jumping forward is that none of us want to fall. So the trick is, as you get used to this, as you introduce it into your body, not to jump too high and to really grip the ground with the fingertips. Inhale to the toes. Look forward, bend your knees, and exhale, jump, keeping the hips low. Inhale to a flat back. Straightening the legs, exhale to fold. Inhale, rising all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Great job. Now bend the knees once again, Utkatasana chair pose. Get nice and low. Really feel your outer hips hug in like you're trying to squeeze your butt. Draw the navel in. Find a focal point out in front of you and rise up onto the balls of your feet, little toe stand. Then see how slowly you can lower your hips down towards your heels. Opening the knees out wide, we're going to take a traditional malasana first before we do bakasana. So walk your hands forward between your legs, press your knees out, but draw your hips and your heels back. Drop your head down. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can wrap your triceps around your shins, hold on to your heels, maybe even stand on your hands with your heels and pull the crown of the head down. This is helping those of us who are a little bit tighter in the back gain some flexibility so that once we try crow pose, we can work our knees a bit higher on the arms. And then inhale, rising back up onto the hands. So make sure your hands are in front of you, your arms between your knees, hands shoulders distance. You're going to lift your tush up and do what we did earlier, round the upper back. But bend the elbows just slightly. So if you have the flexibility and you can work your knees high up on the triceps, do that. If you're right in the middle of the bicep and you don't really want to jab your knee right into that bicep and get those bruises, I would recommend putting your knees right on the elbows. So that would require bending the elbows a little bit more, but right on top of the elbows, creating a bit more of a stable shelf. So you pick where your knees end up. Put them there, lean forward, but round your upper back like you did in cat position. Now, once there's more weight in the hands and the feet, lift your right foot up, point your toes, and pull your right heel towards your buttock. Make sure you're gripping the mat with your fingertips and try it with the other leg, or maybe it's one leg at a time, but really find your hamstrings engaging. Then put your feet down, step back through your vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Great job. Come down onto your shins. Come back into a child's pose, right where we started. When you work really hard, it's really important to just take a moment to rest, because right after fatigue comes injury, and that's not what we want. So although I'm only offering this child's pose at this point in the practice, feel free to take it at any time. Stretch the arms forward as you inhale. Tuck the toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring your feet together once again. Inhale, reach your right leg up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. Now, all of this protraction of the shoulder blades, all of the core work we've been doing is really going to help with the step forward. As you get into Vinyasa or Power Vinyasa, we do a lot of stepping forward. So shift the shoulders over the wrists, pull your right knee into your chest. Notice that if you're low, your hips are low, your shoulders are low in a plank position, it's really hard to step your foot forward. So really lift your hips up as high as you can. Like you did in crow, spread the shoulder blades and then try to step that right foot forward. It's really going to give you a lot more space. From here, place your fingertips underneath your shoulders. Make sure that your left knee is up off the ground and that your left heel is right on top of the ball of your left foot. Right shin in a nice straight line. Inhale, rise up into crescent pose. Keep drawing that outer right hip back and into the midline. And if you're finding that straightening your left leg is a bit tight in the front of the hip, put a little bend in the knee. Draw your navel in, and then maybe begin to work that left heel back, the inner left thigh up. Inhale fully. As you exhale, spin your left heel down. You might go about hips distance with your legs or your feet, finding warrior one. It's a very similar position to crescent pose, which is what you just did, except it gets a little bit harder as that back heel spins down. So try to square your hips, bending into that right knee, engaging the right hamstring. Take a deep inhalation here. And exhale, release the hands down, step back into a plank position, lowering down through your vinyasa. You can always have your knees down for chaturanga or even skip the vinyasas as your arms start to fatigue. Let's do the other side. Inhale, left leg reaches up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip for now. Then exhale, pull that left knee into the chest, shifting the shoulders over the wrists. Push down through the hands, lift your butt up high. Inhale. Exhale, do your best to step that left foot forward a little bit further than usual. Keeping the ball of the right foot on the ground, the right knee off the ground, inhale, rising up into your crescent position. Again, if it's too much for that right hip flexor, put a little bend in that right knee. Draw the navel in, press the right heel back, lift the inner right thigh up. And as you inhale, lengthen the sides of the waist, even the back ribs. Inhale, and exhale, spin your right heel down, maybe challenging your balance in that transition just a little bit. Keep rolling that right inner thigh back, bending into your left knee. Think about pulling the left foot to the back of the mat. That'll really engage your hamstring. Inhale, gaze up as the palms touch if you want to challenge your balance a bit more. Exhale, take your hands down to the mat, step back, Vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Great job. Breathing here. We're almost done with our standing sequence. You're doing a great job. Bring your feet together. Inhale, reach your right leg up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. Now shift your shoulders over your wrists. Spin to the pinky toe edge of your left foot and flip your dog over so your right foot lands behind you. You're balancing on your left arm, pinky toe edge of the left foot. Lift your right arm up and over the ear. Inhale fully. Exhale back to that one-legged downward facing dog. Pull your right knee into your chest and step forward. Spin your left heel down and windmill up into warrior two. So line your right heel up with the arch of your left foot. Bend into your right knee. Pull that outer right hip back and zip up the navel. As the arms open wide, gaze over your right fingertips. Inhale and exhale, bend deeper. Flip the right palm. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, Parsvakonasana. Right forearm to the top of that right quad, a left arm up and over the ear. Then inhale, reverse triangle pose. Straighten your right leg, reach up and back. Exhale, Trikonasana, bringing your right hand to your right shin, not too much weight on it, so even though you're straightening your right leg, keep pushing the right shin forward. Left arm up towards the ceiling. Drawing the shoulder blades down, knitting the ribs in towards the spine, feeling that nice stretch in the left side body. Looking down, bending into your right knee, reaching your right fingertips forward and sliding your left foot up into Ardha Chandrasana. Drawing your outer right hip back and into the midline, flexing your left foot. If you want to challenge yourself a bit further, you can begin to look towards the left. And don't worry if you fall. I always say that means you're trying. Inhale fully. Exhale, take your left fingertips down. Square your hips. Step your left foot all the way back so that you're in a bit of a lunge and place your left knee down onto the ground. Place the palm flat on the mat underneath the left shoulder. Reach your right arm up for a simple twist. You can stay here if you want to take it further. Reach the right arm back, lift the left foot up off the ground, and pull the left heel in towards the left glute. If it's more for you about opening that right shoulder, you can push the foot back into the shoulder and make this a bit of a back bend. Inhale, reaching your right arm up, the left foot back. As you exhale, plant that right palm down, lift the left knee up, step back into plank through your vinyasa. Downward facing dog. The good news is we have one more side to go in our standing sequence. You're doing great. Bring your feet together. Inhale, reach your left leg up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. Now first, in order to get into that flip dog, shift your shoulders over your wrists. Spin to the pinky toe edge of your right foot. Your right leg stays straight like a side plank, and then your left foot lands behind you. Try to stay on the ball of the left foot as you inhale. Lift your heart up and over that right shoulder blade, reaching the left arm towards the front of the mat. Then inhale, left arm stretches up. It comes back down, and you come into that one-legged down dog, reaching your left leg high. Inhale. Exhale, knee comes forward, step it forward. Spin your right heel down, line your left heel up with the arch of your right foot, windmill up into that warrior two. Now, keeping that left knee in line with the second toe of the left foot, draw your outer left hip back and into the midline. Open the arms out wide. Find that strong warrior two stance as you inhale. Exhale, sink deeper. Flip the left palm. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, Parshva Konasana. Left forearm on or elbow on top of that left thigh. Right arm up and over the ear. Push down through the left heel, straighten the left leg. Inhale, reverse Trikonasana. Exhale, Trikonasana. Left fingertips down to the left shin. Keep pressing the left shin into that left hand as you reach your right arm up. The more you draw your navel in, the more you engage that left glute, you're going to feel the stretch, the purpose of Trikonasana, the stretch in the right side of the body. Then looking down, bending into your left knee, reaching the left fingertips forward as you step tall on your left foot, challenging your balance. Your left foot is going to do a little dance, but that's completely normal. Stabilize it by pressing through all four corners of that left foot. Flex your right foot, draw the outer left hip back, and maybe expand across your right collarbone as you look to the right. Inhale. Exhale, release the right fingertips down, square your hips, rolling that right inner thigh up towards the sky, and then step your right foot back. Place your right knee down onto the ground as you place your right hand underneath the right shoulder and reach your left arm up. Staying in this simple twist or reaching back with the left hand, grabbing the right foot with it and opening that left shoulder, maybe pulling your right heel in just a bit more. Inhale and exhale, release. Lifting your right knee up off the ground, stepping back into your plank pose through that final Vinyasa. Great job. Once you get to down dog, take a deep inhalation through your nose. Let it go. You did it. Coming down onto your shins, swinging both legs out in front of you. Sukhasana. So cross your right shin in front of your left. You deserve this. This is going to feel really nice on your hips. Flex your feet. So try to make more of a box or triangle shape really with your legs rather than having the heels tucked in too far. Inhale fully and exhale, fold it down. It should feel like a really great release for the outer hips. And if you're quite flexible and you want to take it a bit further, you can stack your shins in Agni Stambhasana instead. But really just looking for what works for your body. A sensation that is deep enough to breathe into, but not so much so that you're moving tension from one place to another. Each inhalation, think about lengthening your spine. Each exhalation, folding just a bit deeper into the pose. And then inhale, lengthen the gaze forward. Walk your hands all the way over towards the left so that you're going to fold down over your left knee, or if you're in Agni Stambhasana, over your right foot. Then inhale, twist just a little bit so your right ribs draw down to the mat and your left ribs lift towards the sky, and exhale, fold down. The more you walk your right arm over towards the left, the deeper the stretch is going to be around the shoulder area. So you might already feel it in the upper glutes of the right side, or maybe in the muscles that line the spine on the right side. But the more the right arm moves over to the left and straightens, you'll feel it in your lats, maybe even in the traps or the rhomboids, just depending on your body. Then looking towards the left, straighten your left arm out to the left, but have the hand in line with your left hip. Reach your right arm up and over the ear. Now getting right into the obliques, maybe even into the hip flexor area of the right leg or right side. If you want a little more, you could even lower down to the left elbow. And then inhale, rising all the way back up to center, stretching both legs out in front of you, shaking them out. And just switching sides. Left shin in front of the right. Flexing your feet. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, folding down. If you took Agni Stambhasana or double pigeon on the other side, then do that on this side, stacking the shins. As you lengthen forward into the fold, try to breathe space between each vertebra of the spine. And you might find that with each deep breath, with each conscious, intentional breath, you'll find a bit more space for yourself physically, and in turn, finding space for yourself emotionally, mentally. And then inhale, lengthen the gaze forward. Walk your hands all the way over towards the right so that you're folding over either your right knee or your left foot. Twist just a bit so that the left ribs press towards the mat and the right ribs reach up towards the ceiling. Then find some length as you inhale. Exhale, folding all the way down. Walk your left hand over towards the right. Just enough so that you feel the stretch creeping up into the lats or obliques. And then inhale, stretch your right arm out towards the right. Align the hand with the outer hip. And the left arm reaches up and over your ear. Drawing the ribs in, lengthening through the sides of that left side body. And if you want to take it a little further, the right forearm can come down, especially if you did it on the other side. And pushing through your right hand, inhale, rising all the way up to seated, sending both legs out in front of you, shaking them out. Flex your feet. Take your feet hips distance just for a little bit of space, reaching your arms up as you inhale. Exhale, folding down into a wide-legged Paschimottanasana. If possible, grab the outer edges of your feet. If not, grab your ankles and drop your gaze down between the legs. Then inhale, pull the crown of the head forward, the outer hips back. Exhale, fold down. Feeling that beautiful release all the way from the hamstrings up towards the erectors, right underneath the shoulder blades. If you're folding deep enough and in a way that is integrated, you'll really feel it in the entire back body. And then inhale, rising all the way up, lying down onto your back, hugging your knees into your chest. Then Shavasana, soles of your feet together. We're going to take a variation of Shavasana here and take Baddha Konasana legs. So soles of the feet together, let the knees drop open. Open the arms out wide and close your eyes. You did a great job stepping onto your mat today. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Feel free to stay here as long as it serves you. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.